And so some companies that have embraced that, some of our customers that embraced it have been most successful. The ones who have understood that they're launching this for a specific topic, they have a purpose, they roll it out to a small group of people who understand that purpose and can start building and seeding content, which is what we're calling a nursery. And that nursery group sort of builds and starts to gain momentum. And then some of the other exciting things is maybe this is an exclusive site, and you have to jump across a hoop to belong to it. You have to achieve a certain level of sales. Like, this is only for our top 30% of our sales reps. They get to share knowledge in this space or something like that. Then it causes, the barrier to entry actually causes more interest and drives more use.
Right, it motivates everybody to get into it.
Absolutely, yeah. So some of those things are what some of our customers have done well, and we've had the opportunity to learn from the best and help share that out with the rest of our customer population.
Terrence, what's going on in the chat room?
We got a question from Jeff, and Jeff, and it's a very valid question, and probably the first question that will come from any one of your clients' IT departments, and that is, how secure, when I start building these communities on Bloomfire, how secure is it?
Yes. We love IT departments. Our system uses the same protocols for security as online banking systems like Mint.com and possibly systems that your bank is using with 128-bit encryption and SSL protocols throughout the entire site. All data to and from is SSL encrypted. So if you feel comfortable doing banking online, you should feel comfortable sharing about your product or your challenges or asking a question on Bloomfire.
Great. And for those that might be watching this as a recording, in the chat room I mentioned that you also have a free version of Bloomfire, so anybody wanting to test it out can have that. And it's not a trial either. It's a free account, right?
Yeah, it's a very generous free account. We've been criticized for being too generous with that, but ultimately, I just want the world to use this. I just feel it's the platform the world needs, and we want it to use. So I love when people say I'm using Bloomfire for my family. Great, that's awesome. Thank you.
It's got to start somewhere.
It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And thanks for introducing Bloomfire to your family, by the way.
Well, so with my family, I'm probably the techiest of them. So getting them to call on a cell phone is a task, a chore sometimes. So Bloomfire might be a stretch for them, but we're getting there. When I have my dad on Facebook, then I know that the world has arrived. He's the last holdout.
Really.
So what are when you think with your, again, without disclosing who your clients are, what are some of the common denominators as far as industry or company profile that you're seeing where Bloomfire is being very attractive for?
Well, that's a good question. It has shifted since we've launched. And like I said, we've been out less than a year here, so it's not like we're mapping world history. But initially, we were very corporate training and development focused because, like I said, I knew that's where we could get traction. We focused our efforts there. And we've sort of expanded out as our customer base has expanded out. And we've not been pushed. That's a bad, but we rode the wave that we were expecting to come. So in November, well, let me before I go there, along the way, people who had started launching Bloomfires and building content were coming to us saying, "Hey, look, I've built this site and it's really valuable. I have all this great content out there. Someone would pay me to have access to this content. I know that people would pay to subscribe to my Bloomfire." So we thought that was a pretty compelling idea, and in November we launched Bloomfire 2.0, which allows people to charge for access to their Bloomfire subscription access to their Bloomfire. This pivoted the strategy a little bit. While Bloomfire, it's entirely optional to charge for access to your Bloomfire, and if you don't, it looks exactly like it did before. But now there's a simple, yes, I want to charge for access, and then you enter a price, and that's it. You don't need to go get a merchant account or set up payment gateway and a shopping cart and stitch those together. It's just easy. So simple isn't easy, and we tried really hard to make it simple on the user interface, but make a complex thing very simple. But with allowing people to charge for access to their Bloomfire, we're now seeing an influx of, I'll call them thought leaders, solopreneurs, consultants who have great content. These are people who have either written a book, want to write a book, should write a book, who are seeing the site are saying, oh, well, yeah, this is exactly what I need. I need a place where I can share all of this content, open it up, let it breathe, and then continue the conversation beyond my book, beyond my my white paper, beyond my speaking engagements. So the largest influx of customers that we're seeing right now is from that space. And those range from betting tips. We have a customer, I'm sure he's okay with talking about it, but it's bettingtips.co.uk. He advises others on tips for betting, sports bets and such. And he saw Bloomfire as the best way to get that message out and to monetize and allow people to subscribe to his stream of knowledge, this knowledge that he's built up over time. Another very successful one is exploring social media. So Jason Falls, who has the blog Social Media Explorer, he has run a very successful blog, has hundreds of thousands of followers, speaks all over the world at industry events. When he found Bloomfire, he said, this is it. This is actually, I'm trying to build this currently, and this is, I could have this up and running in 10 minutes. So it was exactly what he needed because he has all of this knowledge. He's a professional blogger and speaker, and he has a full staff. So now he has a site called Exploring Social Media. It's Bloomfire powered. It's exploringsocialmedia.bloomfire.com. And he's charging $25 a month for access. And when you get access to all of the content he posts, all of his associates, and all of the conversation that's happening in the community around this topic. It really has allowed him to extend the conversation. So those are probably the most exciting advancements in Bloomfire is this whole new market that we see. And ultimately where this is going is to the armchair experts, that allows anyone who has knowledge, who has great valuable knowledge, to share that with the world and somehow be rewarded for that, whether that's through money or whether it's through recognition or views or thank yous. This is where we see it heading.
Actually, that's great. And one thing I like is that you can monetize it. Frankly, I'm almost tired of free. Everybody seems to think that everything should be free, but people need to eat. And people also, I think as a society, we're minimizing expertise. So people who actually are good at something, there's no reason why they shouldn't get paid for what they're good at. Everybody gives out free advice, but there's also the expectation nowadays of everything being free. And you do get what you pay for in more cases than not. And I don't know, Terrence, what do you think about that?
Well, monetizing eLearnChat sounds like a good idea. I don't think we'll do that, but there's definitely validity to what you're saying, Rick. I think that I don't ever personally get tired of free, but I definitely see a trend moving in that direction. And sometimes we're attracted to something because it's free, and we find out as we use it that it's a piece of crap. So then there is that definite expression of you get what you pay for, and in many cases that's exactly what you get when you're getting something for free, is you're getting garbage. However, there's some really amazing things that we're getting for free, some amazing group dynamics that are happening with Facebook, with Twitter and things like that, which don't cost you a dime.
Sure.
But they've found a way to monetize the free aspect of it by collecting this community and and basically capitalizing on the fact that they've got a 500 million person or member audience, that if you want to advertise to them, then here's your opportunity, and you have to pay for that. So I think that even though the free is an illusion, and that somewhere free is going to start turning into somebody paying something. It may not be the user, but somebody along the line is paying for the service. So that's my 2 cents on free.
Yeah, I think in any marketplace, there's room for both. Mm-hmm. There's room for free, and there's room for paid. And there's reasons for both. There's reasons why I might have content on the web that I want to give freely, because either I have a philanthropic need to share this knowledge, or I feel like I'm giving to the world. Ultimately, that's filling my bucket in some way. If we go back to education school and we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that's giving me my sense of belonging and self-actualization. But I also have that need to have food, shelter, and my basic bottom rung of that ladder. And so I might have some content, some premium content that is more valuable, that I do ask for money for. And so those two have some sort of symbiotic relationship, where if I give some free content that's valuable, well, that probably means you tested that content, you're comfortable with me, you trust me as a teacher, as a mentor, as a thought leader, and you'd be willing to pay. So often I feel like the paywall is put up too early for some people, and there needs to be that entryway, that comfortable entrance to the land where people can come in. There's a great book, Free, The Future of a Radical Price by Chris Anderson, which does a fantastic job relaying the values behind freemium and what people are getting from it. It's frankly why there is a free version of Bloomfire. I feel like there's a mission behind what we're doing with Bloomfire. There's a reason why I started this company, and it's well beyond what corporate training and development teams can do with this platform. It's more to what dent I can make in the world with this technology and allowing people to openly share knowledge with each other. It's exciting.
Oh, it sounds exciting, actually. Terrence, any other comments in the chat room right now? Everybody buzzing?
Larry's joined us, so thanks, Larry. I know he was in the morning show with Gina as well, so thanks for coming back. He just made a statement that free is the gateway to pay, so it's try before you buy, and I think that's becoming more and more a strategy that we're seeing out there, that somewhere that the key is going to open up a door to profitizing what you're giving away for free, and it a lot of times it may come on the back end. Maybe you do have a book to promote, maybe you have a blog that you're trying to get advertisers on, but if your purpose is to attract an audience, then free is one of the important ingredients, but I don't know necessarily if free is the most important ingredient. I personally think content is the most important ingredient, and then once you have good content, then your pay structure kind of needs to be set up from there, whether it's free or whether it's fee for service or whatever the case may be. But I'm still a firm believer in the religion of content is king.
Absolutely. You have to have a good product. Mm-hmm. And another place that I'd like to push the boundary in this area a little bit is, I feel like on the web currently, you can only find, there's some sort of line in the sand and that we're seeing and we bump up against when I want to, this is a specific instance for me, living in Michigan. I have clover in my lawn, lots of clover, and I want grass in my lawn. So I went online to try to find how to get rid of clover in my lawn. And I searched and I looked through forums and I read hundreds and hundreds of posts and I watched YouTube videos, and all of those gave me a partial answer. Like, nobody really took me under their wing and said, hey dude, This is how you get rid of clover in your lawn. Don't use this, don't use this, don't use this. Use